Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to Speak and Stories, a place where every story lights a little spark in your heart. Once, in a peaceful little town surrounded by green hills, there lived an old lady named Clara. Everyone in the town knew her for her warm heart and the calm smile that never seemed to fade. Whether the sky was bright with sunshine or heavy with rain, Clara always carried the same quiet peace. People often came to her cottage at the end of the cobbled lane, not for food or gifts, but for comfort. Her words were few, but somehow they healed heavy hearts. One afternoon, a young woman named Eleanor came to visit her. Her eyes were swollen from crying, and her voice trembled as she spoke. "Grandmother Clara," she whispered, "how do you always stay happy? No matter what happens, I never see you sad. Don't bad things ever break your heart?" Clara smiled gently and poured her a cup of warm chamomile tea. "My dear child," she said softly, "happiness doesn't come from the world outside. It grows from the garden we keep inside our hearts." Elena frowned slightly. "I don't understand. When something painful happens, how can anyone stay happy?" Clara turned her eyes toward a small oil lamp glowing beside her chair. The flame swayed lightly in the wind, yet it didn't go out. "Let me tell you a story," she said quietly. "When I was young, I had a husband and 2 little boys. We had very little money, but our home was full of laughter. We were happy, even with simple meals and worn-out clothes. But one winter, my husband fell ill. We tried everything, but we couldn't afford a doctor. Slowly, his strength faded, and one morning, he was gone." Her voice fell to a whisper. "For many nights, I cried until I thought my heart would stop. The world felt dark and cold, but after some time, I realized something. My tears would not bring him back. My children still needed me. They needed my warmth, my courage, my love. So I decided to live again." She smiled faintly and touched the small lamp beside her. "Every morning since then," she said, "I light this flame and remind myself, this is a new day. And I find one reason to smile. Sometimes it's small, a bird singing outside, a kind word from a neighbor, or sunlight dancing on the floor. But there is always something good if we choose to look for it." Elena listened quietly, her heart softening. "But what if something terrible happens again?" she asked in a low voice. Clara nodded thoughtfully. "My dear, when pain comes, we must feel it. But remember, nothing lasts forever. Good days pass, and so do the bad ones. When sorrow comes, I look at what I still have, my memories, my friends, my breath, and this moment. Happiness is a choice we make again and again. We can focus on the darkness, or we can turn toward the light." Elena looked at the lamp. Its flame trembled, but it stayed alive. Then she looked at Clara's calm face and smiled through her tears. "Thank you," she whispered. "I think I understand now." That night, when Eleanor returned home, she found an old lamp on her table. She lit it gently and whispered, "This is a new day. I will find one reason to smile." At first, her reasons were small. The morning breeze, the smell of bread from the bakery, the sound of children laughing outside. But as days passed, her heart began to glow again. Even when life felt heavy, she remembered Clara's words. And her light never went out. In time, others noticed the peace in her eyes and came to ask her secret. She would smile just as Clara once had and say, "Happiness doesn't come from what happens to us. It begins in the heart." And slowly, the whole town began to change, one peaceful flame at a time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe